Hey, what's up guys? Today we're going to create ourselves some AI motor and AI states. So we pretty much have the same thing going on for our enemies as we do for our player. So without further ado guys, let's get started. Okay, so this one is going to be fairly simple as well. We're going to be using stuff that we've already made in the past. So the first thing I'll have you do is take all your waypoints and we're going to elevate them on the y-axis. So we can actually see, I'm going to say like 10, so we can actually see that whenever we spawn our player, not our player, our enemies, we can see them falling because they're going to be affected by a motor script. And that motor script is going to be a AI motor. So let's go down here in motor and then create C# script AI motor, just like this. And now we're going to open this up, and we're also going to open up the player motor at the same time. We're going to be pretty much just taking a function from there and just pasting it in the AI motor. If you remember correctly, when we create one of these, we use the base motor class, so we inherit from base motor, and most of our stuff is pretty much done in there. So let's go check, let's clean this up a bit, and then let's go take a look inside player motor. So we're going to be taking everything in there that does not affect the player, only affects the NPC. So we don't want this, we don't want the start at all either. We're gonna need the update motor, that's for sure, so copy this. And input direction, we don't need that at all, so we only need the update motor function, so copy it and paste it inside the AI motor. Okay, now as for the get the input, we're gonna get the input at one point, but it's not gonna be from the joystick, so it's gonna be some other form of how to say, calculation, I guess. Say the pathfinding. So the pathfinding is going to be the one that gives the player an input, or sorry, gives the enemy an input. So for now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna declare a new function down here. So public vector3, and I feel like calling it input direction, but that's not going to be it. So just call it direction for now, and we might change it a little bit later on. Now let's take this, replace the input direction by direction, and for this video we're simply going to return a vector3.0. In the next one we're going to start calculating in which direction the enemies are supposed to go, and this is going to be calculated in here basically, and then we return that in the input vector, or the move vector. We also don't need to rotate our move vector with a camera, because we don't have a camera in this case. Now we send the input to a filter, that works. Check if we need to change the current state, that also works. And yeah, that's it. That's a really small script actually. Okay, let's go back in the engine. We're going to drag ourselves a boss and also an enemy on the screen, and we're going to assign a script to those. So we're going to assign the AI motor script to the enemy and AI motor script to the boss. Don't forget to hit apply when you do that. So drag and drop the script and hit apply. Same thing here. Now we can remove these, and if we press play, we go in game and we start spawning these little guys. As you can see, they are now affected by gravity. Oh, and they also get to jump, so that's a bit weird. Alright, so we have a little bug here where our player and our enemies jump at the same time, and that's a little bit normal because we're using the same state. So the walking state is for both NPCs and player. That shouldn't be the case. We should have a special walking state only for the player and a walking state only for the AI. We're going to open our motor script state, and we're going to create ourselves a AI walking state. Pretty much the same thing. In fact, we're simply going to copy everything, or even better than that, what we're going to do is we are simply going to inherit from the walking state. So let's go in AI motor. No, that's not it. Let's go in AI walking state over here, and we'll say you inherit from a walking state. All we need to do is to say transition. We're going to override transition. So we're going to do public override void transition. We're going to remove the jump. Okay, now in order to test this out, we need to go back in the base motor, and in there we are going to change one line. So where is it? Over here. And when we say state is equal to GameObject.addComponent walking state, we're going to do that in the children script. So copy this. Now let's go back inside the player motor, and where it says start, we're simply going to say over here state is equal to GameObject.addComponent walking state. Now we need to do the same thing in the AIMotor. So over here I'm going to copy paste this, close the function, and instead of saying state is equal to GameObject.addComponent walking state, we're going to say AI walking state. Then the rest should work just fine. Let's try this out. Press play. And now I'm also jumping. That's a little bit okay, I understand why. So what happens is we pretty much go from the walking state to the normal falling state, so this one. And then from here we go back to the normal walking state. So we should also have a AI falling state. So let's do that again. So AI falling state, and it is going to inherit from the normal falling state, but we're simply going to modify what we want to modify. So pretty much just a transition, I guess. Let's go in here, public override void transition, and we go from the AI falling state to the AI walking state. And one last thing before we enter the game is in the AI walking state, we want to make sure that the motor change state for AI falling state. Okay, now we should be good to go. Let's try this out one more time. So I spawn something, jump, and he doesn't have the same issues now. Let's go check on the script itself. So yeah, he is in the AI walking state. Now say we take him over here. He is now in the AI falling state. Alright, so everything seems to be working just fine now. Okay, so I know this was a short video, but we had to get this out of the way before we tackle some more complicated stuff. So, if this was helpful to you, please leave it a like. Also, if you have any question or comment, use the comment section below, and please subscribe for more of these. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.